Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mr. Riley from Mr. Riley's World, coming to you live from the West Coast, the best coast,
West
the
Coast.
West Side. West Side. What's happening, everyone? Hopefully, you're doing well wherever you are. Man, we're doing well over here on the West Coast. Man, it's nice and sunny, kind of breezy. It's been breezy the past couple of days, and so we're just so delighted that you're here with us on this West Coast Wednesday. Shout out to my boy Uncle Al, who I kind of borrowed the name from. So we're gonna, have a wonderful show tonight. I have a wonderful, wonderful guest, and just so pleased that she agreed to come on and hang out with me for 45 30 minutes, I don't know, 15 20, until we get tired of one another. At least 45 50 minutes, just kind of talk to Miss Kali, chocolate twist yoga, right? And so Kali Sampson Alexander, and she has a business called Chocolate Twist Yoga. So we'll talk to her in a couple of minutes, but in the meantime, I see some of you guys are kind of here, and if you happen to be watching live right now, you can go ahead and throw some comments up. We have a couple of comments. Let me just go ahead and recognize several people already, and hopefully my comments window will come up the way I need it to come up, and if not, we'll just format it. So Silver Lining Home Play says, hello, I'm here for the West Coast's best yogi. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. we'll have to figure, get clarification on the yogi, but it's all good. Thank you for being here, Silver Lining Home Place. And then this someone says greetings. Yeah. Akai Art 3, I believe. Yes. They said greetings. That's with the S. There you go. So they wanted to make sure that they had the S at the back of it. So thank you for being here. We're so happy to have you. And let me just tell you, I'm still kind of giddy. Let me tell you why I'm giddy. First of all, if you didn't know, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel or my private Facebook group, Mr. Riley's World, and I have a couple of members over there. I have been posting videos. Just so happy about my oldest son, Sir Riley, just graduated from college with his BA degree, and so we're just kind of happy over here in Riley World. And so, I don't want to start the show without showing you a couple of pictures, images of my boy. Just, he was looking funky fresh this past Saturday. So my son, he graduated, like I just said, with a BA, and, he was on a football scholarship at Washington State University. He graduated 4 years. 4 years. So happy. There were some challenges, yes, being a student athlete, away from home for the first time, and just having to do a lot of things, learning how to do a lot of things on his own. And so just so happy. And I can remember dropping him off, right? June 17th, 2018. It was Father's Day weekend that he had to report. And, we took the drive. We threw some stuff in the in pitch black, the Yukon XL, and we drove all the way up to Pullman. We had a little stop, some family time, and I think it was Lake Tahoe. Hung out for a couple of days, and then made the trek up to Pullman and dropped him off. And I just remember, it's like, oh man, my oldest son doing this thing. And so just so happy that he finished in 2022. He finished on time, and he got his grades back the other day, and he's like, Dad, this is probably one of the best semesters that I've had up here in Washington. And so just want to share a proud daddy moment real quick. So here are some of the pictures right here that I posted on my Facebook page. That's the gentleman right there. That's his uncle and his cousin. But yeah, that's the big boy right there, Big Sir Riley. And let's just kind of go through some of these pictures right here. Look at him. Man, just so happy. This was in the locker room area. And so he was suited and booted. The boy stays suited and booted. And I guess he gets it from his dad, I guess, and his mom as well. So yeah, there he is right there. There we go. And those two rings are those two bowl rings that he participated in when he was a freshman and sophomore. The first 2 years they went to a bowl game with Coach Leach there, and so they went to the Alamo. No, not the Alamo Bowl. Yeah, I think it was the Alamo Bowl. The Alamo Bowl in San Antonio, and then the following year they went to the Cheez-It Bowl. And so, so those are those 2 rings that he got for being a participant in that bowl game. And then here's the whole fam. That's right. The Riley clan rolls deep. We roll deep. And so my son, who's over at University of New Mexico, he flew down. We pulled my boy and my youngest son and my daughter. We pulled them out and of school. Actually, no, we didn't. We flew up Friday, had a good time, celebrated with him on Saturday, spent some time packing him up. And, so that's how we do. And we have cousins, my sister-in-law and brother-in-law and their children as well. So we had a wonderful time, celebrating. And so I'm still kind of giddy, kind of happy. And that's one of his former teammates and his family. Just a big family celebration at Washington State University. So just so happy. And there he is. Look at him. He's like, Mama, Daddy, I did it. Family. I did it. And actually, the boy is ready to move, make some moves and continue his education as well. I'm just a happy, and those are the grandparents right there. So they came to participate in some of the festivities. So wonderful time over here in Riley World. And so I just wanted to kind of drop that knowledge. I do see a couple of comments, and let me go ahead and run over to the comments before I bring on my wonderful guest who's hanging out in the green room. All right. So let's just go through. Chocolate Twist Yoga says, greetings, everybody. And then Kevin Cox, what's going on, sir? How you feeling? He says, congrats to him and yourself. Thank you. Kali just saying hello to Silver Lining Home Place. And yeah. So just saying howdy, all that kind of good stuff. So now normally I would have my comments over here to my on the side, but I don't feel like moving them around right now. So here we go. Let's just go ahead and again, congratulations, Big Sir Riley. All righty. So without further ado, this is West Coast Wednesday, and I figured, as I'm trying to develop my skills in terms of being a live streamer, I'm almost close to 500 subscribers on my YouTube channel. I think last time I looked, it was like 470. I'm getting there. But I'm developing my own knowledge, and this is one way that I can immerse myself in learning how to become a better live streamer. And so I figured at least every season, spring, summer, winter, and fall, I'll do a couple of episodes of West Coast Wednesday. We'll come to you live on Wednesday. And this particular, since it's the inaugural season, I figured I'll do people who are live on the West Coast, some of my friends and colleagues, business owners. And so I have another wonderful business owner here on the West Coast. And not only is she on the West Coast, she is in my hood. She's in my hood. And so without further ado, I see Kali, she's kind of moving back and forth a little bit. Let me go ahead and unmute you. Without further ado, Chocolate Twist Yoga, y'all. Give it up for her.
West Coast, Best Coast. What it do, James Riley?
Hey, how you feeling?
Man, I'm all good. I'm so delighted to be here. Big congratulations to you, Madam Riley and Sir Riley. I know that 4 years of college student athlete, one does not do that by themselves. There has to be an entire support system there. So congratulations to all of you. It warms my heart.
Absolutely.
This is a huge victory. I'm so proud of you all.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Let me go ahead and get that air horn, that sound right there. Trying to make it happen. Kali, what's going on? What's cracking?
Man, it's one of those Wednesdays,
Yes.
so it's one of the days that I get a chance to get on my bike and get out there, go to the ocean and do some woosahs and move my body. So it's been a good day. The children are doing what they need to do. They're working, going to school. So everybody is stable. There's a saying, you may have heard it, that you're as happy as your saddest child, and everybody is doing well. So this is a good day. When they're happy, I'm happy.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and get that little DJ horn, just a little, man, listen, over here it's the same thing as well. Everybody's happy, wife is happy, kids are happy. I have one traveling. He went back up to his school, and then he's like, "Look, I'm coming home. I need a break. I'm coming home from the queue." So he's somewhere in Arizona
Yeah.
trying to get here. So so
And
yeah,
being
we're
able to, like, connect with family like that, like,
man,
recharges him, I'm sure, right? And I'm sure that
absolutely,
he enjoys his time away, but, like, getting that recharge from mama and daddy,
yeah.
that's like putting a battery in your back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, with the older two kids coming and going, they have they need their family time, but then it's like, look,
Mhm.
I'm tired. Let me let me go on back to where I need to be, right? And so, but because they're adults, they can do that. They can make the decision, or
Yeah.
they can go
Yeah.
out and hang out with another family member or friends or whatever. And so, they're both licensed drivers, and my one son who's driving over, he's like, look, I'm driving in my car. I don't want to. I'm not doing an airline ticket because I want to have access to my ride. So,
Right? Oh, okay. It's
yeah,
like that. Now, are they good drivers?
they
I
are.
gotta ask, 'cause being a licensed driver
They
and
are.
being a good driver, I mean, there is some intersection, but not necessarily.
No, actually, they are good drivers. My second son, he likes to. He has like a lead foot. I think.
Ooh, child.
Yeah. He doesn't get it from me. I'm real laid back. I have an SUV, so I'm kind of I just kind of take it easy. But man, he can go. He likes to go. So I'm just hoping that he drives safe on the way here. And
Yeah.
he's made the trek a couple of times on his own, and so he kind of knows the ebbs and flows of being on the highway, especially traveling during the daytime. So he kind of knows, and so I just trust that he has good knowledge, good judgment, and of course we have
Yep.
the man upstairs watching him too. So that's a plus as
That's
well.
that's right. That's right. And
Absolutely.
you are a laid back driver because I've seen you rolling around the
Wait,
neighborhood,
wait, we
which lean.
we we gonna talk about that. We gonna talk about that. Okay, and then to begin, let me just go ahead and say, Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so
Absolutely,
much.
absolutely, absolutely. Now, were you able to celebrate?
I was able to celebrate, and I have to say it was a bit reluctantly. And let me tell you what I mean by that. So, uh pre-COVID, I was someone who was always available, like helping people in the community. Like, you need this, I got you. You need this,
Sure,
I got you. And
sure.
by the time it hit, I was like, whoa, this break is so good.
Right.
But then I also realized that I wasn't pouring into my family the
Mm-hmm.
way that I was pouring into people outside of my family.
Mm,
So I decided that every Sunday I would have Sunday dinner. So that would
got you.
mean I would drive to my parents' house, my children, my sister, her children, my brother, everybody, my parents, we all would have Sunday dinner. And it has been really great to connect with my family like that. But now we're 2 years in, Mr. Riley.
2 years in. Okay.
We're 2 years in. And so come Mother's Day, I was like, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't mind
Uh,
if
if we had a break.
if we had a break. And early May is also because it's not only Mother's Day, but it's my brother's birthday on May 9th. The year that he was born, he was actually born on Mother's Day. And then
Wow.
it's my nephew's birthday, May 6th. So there's like
Wow.
a bunch of things that takes place right there in that weekend. So I
Right.
was like, well, no, I always do a cake for everybody's birthday. So I got to do the cake at least.
Right.
But do I got to do the dinner? And I was like, I was starting to get a little bit of an attitude about having to do the dinner and everything. Plus the birthdays on Mother's Day. If y'all listen, please don't take this the wrong way. I love you. Because I did tell my family that I was going to be in Mr. Riley's world. But this is what happened. So after my son lives out, and so I picked him up, and we all went to my parents' house. And I was so tired because I did a 20-mile ride that morning. I went into and got into the bed at my parents' house, lay down, went to sleep. Right
Mm.
now, I was gonna make this shrimp tostada bar. I know this is more than what you asked, but since
It's
we
all.
here,
We here. We here.
we here. So that meant that I had to clean the shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
That means that I had to do the chopping. That means I had to do all the things and set the bar up and all the stuff. James, I woke up, my children made all the food.
Wow.
Everything was made. And
Wow.
I felt like I did the right thing.
Right.
My
Right.
sister confided some personal information to kind of fill in some gaps of some things that I was wondering what was going on,
Mm-hmm.
and that made a world of difference. I got a chance to spend time with my parents. I won't say my mother's name because she will. I'm swear to you,
Absolutely.
like lightning will come down. But my father just turned 80,
Okay.
and just because she will want me to say this, she's a whole lot younger than my father. She would want me to
Absolutely.
say that.
Okay. Okay.
My father just turned 80, so I feel like incredibly blessed
Sure.
to have my family, right?
Absolutely.
And then the way that everything turned out for Mother's Day, it really made me feel good, and it felt like I made the right decision and just like pushing through, you know.
Good. 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 Oh,
So
that's awesome.
Mother's Day was great.
Absolutely. And sometimes we need to we need to recharge, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, we celebrated this weekend, and every Tuesday I have a meeting, right? And so I went to we flew in yesterday morning back from Washington. We flew in yesterday morning. I didn't go to work. However, I still had to go to work because I needed to take care of some teacher things, right? I'm
Hmm.
a UTLA chapter chair at my school, and so I needed to be there to take care of some things. And so I took care of that, and I came home. I think I might have done a couple of things, and then every Tuesday I have a standing time for a meeting at 7:30. Right. So it's
Hmm.
like let me just lay down a little bit. Right. Man,
Yeah.
I woke up. I got a text. They were like 20 minutes into the meeting. I got a message that said, "Hey, are you coming?" I was like,
Are you coming?
yeah, yeah,
Where
yeah.
you at?
Are you joining the meeting?" It was a Zoom meeting, so I just hurried up and hopped in. But no, sometimes you have to recharge, and I'm sure you
Yeah.
recharging the way you did allowed you to kind of celebrate and have some fun with your family.
It absolutely did. I mean, recharging is so important, and I think that we forget about that. We know that recharging is important. We know that other people should recharge, but we really know that we too need to recharge, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I think that being able to actually take that time to carve out that time and I think sleeping in the home that I grew up in was also a part of the recharge. And
It
it
was
was the sleep was
comforting.
definitely part of it. It was
Yes,
comforting.
yes,
It was
yes.
comforting.
Yeah.
I slept in my old bedroom. It was very comforting. And here's something else. Now that I think about it, not only was it my old bedroom, but it was the bed that my great grandmother, the bed frame, the whole, all of that.
Hmm.
It was from my great grandmother in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. So there was
Wow.
probably like an additional layer of feeling comforting and on Mother's Day, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah.
So,
You definitely had the
yeah.
ancestors, meaning
Hmm.
grandma, just that spirit right there, and so it kind of gave you
Yeah.
a little reprieve to just kind of kick back, and then once you got your wins, like hey, let
Yeah.
me go ahead and celebrate. Silver Lining Home Play says at Chocolate Twist Yoga, you did that. You taught those children to be the best. Absolutely.
Oh man. Thank you.
Absolutely. so, since we're here, let me. We got a couple of comments real quick. If you're watching on YouTube, Kevin Cox, who's up there on the West Coast, on the Best Coast, I believe, in the Bay Area, just asking if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, and that'd be really
Hello.
really cool. And then also he's asking, is that drone footage that I own, Mr. Riley? Actually, no. This is, and I, because Kevin is a live streamer. He's a content creator.
Mhm.
Actually, Pexels is where I got this video, and I'm just using it as an
Ah,
overlay, right? And because so here's some of the back, inner workings of West Coast Wednesday. Because this is West Coast Wednesday, I figured I'll create some scenes that have the West Coast feel. And so in this
yes.
background, you can probably see the Hollywood sign. I have another one with the comment section. That's the Santa Monica Beach. Part of my countdown timer is just some things around Los Angeles, like the Staples Center, but now it's called the Crypto. I'm not calling it Crypto. I'm calling it Staples
No,
because.
no, no, nope.
So yeah, so
Staples
that's
Center. Hmm.
absolutely. So that's just a little insight to what I'm doing. Just go over Pexels, and they have free downloads that you can use on live streams like this, free of charge. And so, um,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's where I got these overlays from. All right, cool. Now, as we wrap up, I just want to one more quick question about Mother's Day, and then we'll hop into some of the content, some of the questions that I
Yeah.
wanted to ask. Um, what has been the best Mother's Day gift that you've received, or the one that
Hmm.
you have given? Right?
Ooh,
Yeah.
gosh.
So either one,
I
either
mean,
one. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, yeah. That's a good one.
like given or gotten.
Yeah,
I don't even know. I mean, I have to say, because we just talked about it, I mean that gift of time is really
yes,
precious, you
yes,
know? Um, I would really have to say the gift of time, and I never really got a chance to do that until COVID. Because
sure,
before I was always on the move. I mean,
right.
even on Mother's Day, I was always on the move. These past couple Mother's Days, I've actually been able to spend with the three generations of women, my daughter, myself, and my
Hmm.
mom. So it definitely has to be the gift of time, both having gotten that gift and also having given that gift as well, you know. And I
Sure.
almost missed out on it because I was like about to pull the covers up on my over my head, take that shower after ride, and pull the covers up. So I would
Absolutely.
think that is it. I mean, I know that I've gotten like material gifts, but I
Sure.
can't even think of ones that I've given or gotten, you know.
Right. Right.
And I'm
And
sure they've been wonderful. I mean, those I have to say, always getting those handwritten, handcrafted gifts from my children, those are always precious, you know?
absolutely.
Those are
Absolutely.
always great, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And it kind of goes to show the importance of the material things, because sometimes you'll miss that, right? Because
Yeah.
to your point, the greatest thing that you've given is time.
Mhm.
And so that's that far weighs far more than a watch or some kind of trinket or a candle or some fragrance. Time is definitely something that you can't get back, and it's probably
That's the
more
truth.
valuable than some of the things that we box up and give as a gift or a present during these special
Yeah,
occasions. Okay, so cool.
definitely.
So thank you for indulging me about
Oh,
Mother's
man,
Day.
thank you for asking me. Thank you for asking
Absolutely.
me, and yes.
Absolutely. Okay, so um, Kali, go ahead and we probably should have did this at the top, but go ahead and tell the people who you are and what you do, and I'm gonna give you the full screen as you do
Well
that.
well, thank you for asking. I'm Kali Sampson Alexander of Chocolate Twist Yoga. I'm a yogi, meaning that I'm a practitioner of yoga.
All right.
I'm a yoga instructor. Um, I'm a graduate of UCLA. I'm a Bruin. I'm also a graduate of Emperor's College of Traditional Oriental Medicine, where I'm a licensed acupuncturist and herbalist. That's what I have my master's degree in. Um, I've owned a wellness studio, yoga studio, physical brick and mortar, and now I'm doing this thing completely online. And it has, it's perhaps an overused phrase. It has been a game changer to go online for a number of reasons. I started yoga as a child. My mother used to belong to a book club where they would send you, like, literally send you books in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a book from her shelf. My mother kept all of the books in every single closet of our house. Even to this day, when you go over there, you'll find this to be true. Every single closet in our house had a shelf, right? And all the books on that shelf, from the clothing rack all the way to the ceiling, would just be books, rows and rows of books. And one day I was playing in her closet, and literally a book dropped from the closet shelf, hit me on the head. I picked it up, I turned it over, and it said yoga. Now, I'm of a particular age. So we're talking about many, many years ago. I turned the book over, and all I saw was this white woman in a red leotard with these big block letters above her head that said YOGA. Now, I was an early reader, so I knew that it didn't say yo, and I knew that the word was too short to say yogurt.
Sure.
So I was like, let me get the phonetics going.
Right.
Yoga?
Right.
Yoga? And I opened that book, and it was like a world had opened to me.
Mm.
And I was like, if they had diagnosed children with, um, what do they call it? ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
definitely would have been one of those children. And my
Wow.
parents were extremely patient with me. Like, I used to climb on counters and climb into cabinets as a child, but they were extremely patient to me. It's so interesting because they say they don't even remember me doing that.
Wow.
They were like, we knew you were active, but we don't remember you climbing the way that you say you were. But I was always into something. And so opening that book just kind of exposed me to, like, the practice of the postures, right?
Okay.
And then as time moved on, I got into like doing cheer when I was in school. And then I always got into dance when I was in school. And eventually, when I went to school for acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine, they had what they call chi development classes, where you always had to take a chi development class, which meant you either had to do meditation, you had to take a qigong, a tai chi, or a yoga class. So I took all of them, but I really loved the yoga. And what I loved about the yoga was how it made me feel after practice. Like I could be guaranteed to feel much better after I left a yoga practice than when
Mm,
I entered. Guaranteed
right.
every
Right.
single time. And that was something that I always just wanted to have. And going through the various things around mental health and things like that and trying to manage that, it was always the nectar that I gravitated back to. I opened a wellness studio on the Crenshaw Strip called Lotus in the Nile Wellness Center. We did acupuncture, massage, we had dance classes, we had a yoga studio. And so we started offering yoga classes with my teacher, Purusha Hickson. He was the first person who started the program there at Lotus on the Nile. And there was not a class that I would miss. I would go to every single yoga class that my studio offered. Like I'd be like schedule all my appointments around my acupuncture clients around taking his class.
Hmm.
And I became like such an avid practitioner. And he said, when he pulled me aside one day, he said, look, next month, I'm going to be moving to India and I'm going to need you to take over my classes. And I was like, what? Oh, wait a minute. I
You
was
were like,
like, wait a minute.
"Whoa,
Yes.
were you ready?"
Was I ready? I did his training. Whenever someone did trainings at my spot, I always took them because I was like, I want to be, I want to have like some type of at least a cursory knowledge of everything that takes place here.
Sure.
So I done the training, but I took it, people take yoga trainings for different reasons. They want to either become a teacher, which is the most obvious, but they also take it to develop their personal practice. And that's why I was taking it. That and also as a business owner, I need to know what people are doing.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, so because he forced me, I was ready, right? It was like, pushing, I was being pushed out the nest. And so I started teaching the classes and kept teaching it and I loved it, started doing teacher training and then went on and it just went off and I just let it fly, you
Right.
know?
Right.
And I found that my experience, my initial exposure with yoga was in black spaces.
Okay.
The only white person I saw doing yoga was the white. There was two white women. The one, the red with the red leotard in the book, and then the second one was another white woman. It could have been the same white woman. She had a pastel leotard and PBS. Now I said it could have been the same white woman, being kind of facetious. And what I mean by that is that the yoga that is promoted even then, even as like kind of, off to this beaten path as it was still always a very type of person that would do yoga. They would
Sure.
always be younger, white, straight presenting, blonde hair, thin,
Right.
every single time, right? And strange enough, over the course of 40 years that I've been exposed to yoga, it never changed, right? And in the broader spaces, in the mainstream spaces, I started going to William Grant Still Art Center, which you may be familiar with,
I know where it is.
James.
Yes, I know where it is.
And they were doing yoga. They had it at advertisement in the LA Watts Times. And I was like, oh, a yoga class. Let me go do this. This was before I opened my wellness center. And
Sure.
so there was a woman by the name of Hetaru. She was teaching yoga class. And I was like, oh my God, I remember this feeling. I love this. And I continued. So these were all Black spaces. And so by the time I closed my yoga studio and started venturing out to go take classes, these were mainly now white spaces. And I
Hmm.
was like, wow,
Hmm.
this is a trip because it was only
Right.
not only was it just a particular type of white person taking the classes, but it was the only type of people that they would actually gear toward
Hmm.
because all of their advertisement, all of their marketing material always featured the same type of white person.
Sure.
Now, so it made me understand that okay, this is good for all of us. And there was a studio that I was teaching on the west side, And there was a woman, she was the woman who was the manager. She and I became really good friends and still friends to this day. And I said, look, I feel like when I come in this studio to teach, that I'm the only Black person that has been here since the last time I was here.
Mm-hmm.
I said, it's just a feeling that I have. It's a certain sense of like being welcomed or not being so welcomed. Um, and I said, I think that we can do something about that. And I have this idea. And I would like to have a night every Wednesday night. I like to call it Chocolate Twist Yoga Wednesdays. And the only requirement, you can take the class for free. The only requirement is only two. One, you're a Black woman. Two, you have to love Black women. So if you are A or B, you can take the class for free. But if you're not a Black woman and you don't like Black women, then you have to pay.
Right.
And she was like, I love it.
Okay.
So that's how it got started.
Sure.
And first, a
Love the
few
name.
people came. Yeah, few people came. A couple more came. And then it was just like it became like a ritual. The music, the vibe, the community, the entire experience was just so enriching for everyone who was there. And
Mhm.
that's one of the things that I'm committed to with Chocolate Twist Yoga is that my belief is that if you serve the needs, if you think about the role of Black women in American society, like in terms of like health statistics, in terms of pay, all of the various statistics, Black women always get hit harder, right?
Sure.
They say that white women make 60 cents on every white man's dollar, but Black women, we make less than that. You know, we talk about like the infant mortality. Well, it's going to be worse for Black women. So
Sure.
my thing is like, if you serve the needs of Black women, then everybody else is going to benefit. And so that's how I got the name Chocolate Twist Yoga. And so the folks that come to my class are a range of people. I mean, I
Sure.
got people of all different types of backgrounds, men, women, all kinds of different ethnic and cultural backgrounds that come. And I think it's because, like, when you serve the needs of, you could say the least of these, everyone's going to benefit.
Absolutely.
And so that's how it came about.
Wow. Wow. I mean, just that whole dynamic, and we have a couple of comments. Elaine is in the building, and if I can
What
get my
up,
mouse,
Elaine?
she says it's nice to hear your backstory, Kali. This is fascinating. And then Kevin Cox says, if you aren't A or B, pay triple rate and get out.
Pay triple, right?
Man, no, I mean there's so much to dissect right there. I mean, we found out from just that conversation that you just, enlightened us, the name of, how you got Chocolate Twist Yoga, right? And that's, it's just so, I mean, that's a dope name. That's a super dope name,
Thank you,
right? I
thank you,
mean,
thank you. I mean,
Chocolate
obviously the
Twist.
color, but also
Yes.
something sweet, something
Yes.
good for your soul, something that everybody loves. Like they
Everybody.
always say, you can't trust people who don't like chocolate.
Right.
You know?
Right. Hey, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Look what I have right here. Peanut M&Ms. I keep them on
That's
my
right.
desk.
That's right.
I keep them. I
That's
love
right.
chocolate. And so to your point, everybody loves some form of chocolate. If it's going to be dark chocolate, milk chocolate.
Yes.
I mean, chocolate with almonds, peanuts. Man,
Yes.
semi-sweet. It
Semi-sweet, dark chocolate.
white chocolate.
Diana Gladney loves her some white chocolate.
So I mean, who doesn't love the name Chocolate Twist Yoga? And then of course, we get the twist because that's kind of what you do. You stretching, you twisting around, and then yoga,
Yes.
that book, it hits you across the head. YOGA, it hits you across the head, and you knew,
Literally hit me.
and you probably knew from that point on, from that moment on, it was like, okay, this is something that I want to get down with. This is something that I want to be an inspiration to others
Yeah.
by me going and learning some of the techniques, right? And then ultimately, you said, doing your master's classes and becoming an acupuncturist and all that kind of good stuff. You probably were destined to be, you said yogi. Is that correct?
Yeah, person who practices yoga is a yogi, and then like the feminine form is yogini, so
Got you.
yogi, yogini. Yep.
Got you. So one of my questions, and you kind of alluded to it, was how long have you been? Do you know the years that you've been a yoga instructor?
Whoa.
Okay.
How long have I been a yoga instructor? I mean, my son is 20,
Okay.
so I think I became an instructor like my oldest is 20, 18, about to be 19. I think my daughter, I mean, you got me doing some math here, Mr. Riley. I would say maybe 15 to 20 years, something like that.
Okay. Okay.
15, 18 years, something like that.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
been a minute. It's been quite a while. And my my parents practice yoga as well,
Wow.
To this
Wow.
day they practice yoga.
Okay. You know, I've never I've never
Oh.
I've never, you know, tried, and I've never tried, and I know my wife has, like, a couple of times, just recently, she's like, okay, I got to do my bedtime yoga. So she'll sit in the bed, and I'm like, huh, what are you doing? She's like, I'm doing bedtime yoga. I'm like, really? Bedtime yoga is a real thing? She's like, yes, it's a real
Yes.
thing. It's like, so she'll put on a video, and I'll have to go out because I'm looking at her, looking at the video, looking at her, looking at the video. And I'm like, this is okay. I'm just scratching my head. I'm like, let me just leave because this is fascinating, right? It's funny and fascinating that someone's going to do yoga right before they go to bed. But I guess it's a real thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I mean, yoga is like a companion.
Yes.
I often refer to my yoga mat as like my magic carpet.
Okay.
It's my best friend. It's the couch that you kind of think about when you kick back on when you're talking to your therapist. Your yoga mat and your yoga practice can go anywhere and be anything that you need it to be. So if you want your yoga practice to be a physically strong workout that's going to help you build strength, flexibility, help you lose weight, yoga can do that. If you want yoga to be something that's quieter in nature, more meditative, something that's going to help you wind down and relax for bed, it can be that. If you want it as something that's going to help you to become, to raise your game for whatever sport you do, whether you're playing football or you're a cyclist or baseball or whatever it is, it can help you with that too. If you are a believer, if you are, have a faith, it can help you deepen your connection. It could be a way it could be a form of prayer as well. So it's at the end of the day, it's a mindfulness practice, right? It's a moving meditation. And that's my approach to it. It's a self-care moving meditation. That is my approach to it. And I love all the forms. After practicing yoga for, the decades that I have, my practice has definitely changed over time because I've gotten older. My experience has gotten a bit deeper, perhaps even richer.
Sure.
I become more curious about things. Every time I roll out my mat, it's though I will do the same pose, what someone could see on the outside is the same pose. I've people coming home from work. um, there are things that I still discover.
Sure.
There are things that I still discover, and it still gets me excited every time I roll out my mat. Every single time I'm like, oh my God, you guys, I gotta show you guys this. I found this thing out. I was thinking about this thing last night. I tried it this morning. And look, and so when my live stream, my private membership, when they come and I bring that level of enthusiasm, they're like, oh my God, thank you so much, because I didn't know that I could do this pose, or I didn't know that I could sit in this way. Someone asked me one day, what is the hardest pose you can do? What's the most challenging pose you can do? And I was like, sitting still. That's the most challenging pose that I can do. you know?
Wow. Yeah.
So it changes.
Yeah. Absolutely. Kevin says, we started yoga with Cosmic Kids Yoga on YouTube with students at the preschool. They love when I do it with them. But as far as personal practice, I need to do better to build flexibility. So, I mean, you know, th-
Oh,
yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm one who will hop on a bike, and or
yeah.
my Peloton, I'll hop on the road and ride 20 miles, and I've just never, really experienced yoga other than I do have. Oh man, we were doing some mindfulness a couple of years ago in one of my professional developments, and I liked it so much that I bought the little small beanbag chair. What is that thing called?
The
I
small beanbag chair.
oh man, it begins with a K, I think. Ooh, we. Um, ooh, I can't think of it. It's going to come to me. But yeah,
It's gonna come to you.
it's going to come to me because I also purchased a yoga mat as well because we were doing, mindfulness, mindful. Was just being introduced in the district. I think our school district had purchased it free for all employees. I
Mm.
think it was Insight Timer, or what's the other
Yes,
one?
yes, yes,
Insight
yes. Insight
Timer
timer
or
is
Head?
definitely one.
Is it Headspace?
Headspace.
Okay,
Headspace.
so I think Headspace was. So we did a professional development, and I was like, oh, this is real cool, right? Just sit there and kind of relax, but I can't think of the name of the little seat that you sit on, but it'll
Well,
come
this is
to
what
me.
I'm going to share with you. This is what
Sure,
I want to share with you
let's go
because
for it.
since you said that you cycle and I cycle as well. One of the things that, and I want to anyone out there because we have a very enthusiastic and vibrant chat going on right now. I would love for people to put in the chat a theme that they would like a me to create a yoga class around. So for example,
Absolutely.
Mr. Riley said that he's a cyclist. I cycle. And there is a 10-minute stretching yoga routine that I do every single time I cycle. So I'm going to create that. I'm going to film it. I'm going to put it on YouTube. I'm going to tag you in it. And I want you to give it a try. And so
Absolutely.
Kevin Cox, Silver Lining Home Place, Elaine Dempsey, all the Aki Art. I want y'all to like say, I'm going to make you a 10 to 15 minute class. Say, I would like a yoga class to help me do this. Even if you think there can't be no yoga that's going to help me do X, Y, and Z. Now don't get crazy because I
Wait,
know
wait,
some of you guys out there
wait.
think you comics.
Check this out. You got a yoga for gardening.
A yoga for gardeners.
Yeah.
What is it that you want addressed? Is it your knees, your back, your shoulders, your hands, your wrists? Yeah, I can make it. I can make it.
There you go. I mean, and like you said, you come up with the idea, and then that's going to force you to go into your bag of tricks
Hello.
and yoga poses, and put something together. I mean, it's like a personalized, free yoga exercise or stretching opportunity. Chocolate Twist Yoga, she's going to hook you up. So
Hmm.
just shoot out some ideas. She'll probably put together a nice yoga for gardeners um, stretching session. So,
Absolutely. I'm
so
here for it.
yeah. So here they are. Let's go ahead. Elaine, Elaine said, yoga for people who love ice cream.
Oh, Elaine.
I think that
Look,
kind of.
one of my first jobs was scooping ice cream, was dipping ice cream, is what they call it. But what would that include though, Elaine? Like you
Hey,
being funny.
no, she's definitely being funny. Uh, Kevin says mine would be stretching and flexibility. Okay, I'm sure you already have
Okay,
some things already on your YouTube channel. We're going to talk about that in a little bit as well. Um,
sure.
Elaine also says yoga for getting started each day, but you did these, and then Silver Lining Home Place says, those knees be problematic.
Them knees.
Okay, here's a good one: yoga for abs and yoga for rowers. So if you're, you know,
Oh, I would you know what? I have a rower.
there,
I'm a rower as well. You probably didn't know that, Mr.
see,
Riley, but I
you
have
know
a
what?
rower.
Wait. Okay, go ahead and finish this comment because then we're gonna go ahead straight to my next question. Go ahead and finish. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say I have a rower, so I can definitely put together a class for rowers. So those of you who are leaving comments saying, "Yeah, yoga for this, yoga for that," tell me like if you have any type of injuries or type of limitations, things that you're nursing. I'm really serious. I'm going to make these classes. I'm committing to making 5 classes for Mr. Riley World's community. So tell me like if there's any type of limitations like I'm cool with stretching but I don't like lying down on the floor, or I don't like doing push-ups, I don't like doing that, or tell me any of those type of information because I'm going to gather this data and
Sure.
I'm going to put together some classes.
Yeah, yeah, and the content creator in you. These are wonderful ideas for you to take back and think about how you can create your videos centered around some of these comments. All of these are great comics except for the one eating ice cream, Elaine. I mean, I love ice cream. Don't get me wrong. I love ice cream. I just had some the other day up at Washington State. They have like their own creamery where one of their programs they partner with another college, and man, this ice cream was buttery smooth. It was.
Really?
Oh, it's.
Have you had salt and straw ice cream?
I have not. Where is that?
Okay, there's a Salt and Straw on Abbot Kinney in Venice.
Okay.
There's one on Larchmont.
Okay.
There is one in Culver City in that little area, that new area that they just built. There's one there.
Okay.
Oh my God. Now look,
Salt and straw.
Salt and Straw.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to
I
check them
was
out.
You've got to check it out. They have, and they retired the flavor. I went the first time I went to Salt and Straw, like there's usually a line out the building.
Wow.
And one day I walked past and there was no line. And I walked in. They were like, "Oh, welcome into Salt and Straw." Da, da, da. I'm like, "I can't believe there's no line." They were like, "Yeah, so you should sample everything." So I was sampling stuff. They were like, "Well, do you want to sample the black olive and goat cheese?" And peanut brittle. I was like, "No, I don't want that. That does not sound good."
Listen.
I sampled every single one, and that one was so good. That's all I got to say. It
Wow.
was so good.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to. Okay. Salt and straw.
Salt
Okay.
and Straw.
I'm gonna have to put that on my date night list. My wife doesn't necessarily like ice cream that much. I do, but
Really?
she'll sample it. Like
Okay.
when we were at Ferdinand's up in Washington, I was like, "Babe, you want some ice cream?" No. But she proceeded to get a spoon. I was like, "Why are you getting a spoon?" She's like, "Well, I'm gonna sample everybody else's, right?" So all the kids got ice cream. I had a milkshake, right? So she didn't sample mine, but they had apple crisp and someone had Oreo cookie cheesecake. I don't know, but it was
Oh
she
my
had
God.
fun.
There's
Yeah.
another really good ice cream place over there in Playa Vista where the theater is.
Uh huh.
There's an ice cream place in there, and I don't know the name of it, but it is so good. It
Okay.
might be a little bit better than Salt and Straw, especially since they retired the black olive ice cream. But that's just me.
Okay. So check it out. I mean, we frequent that place often, so that'll be
Do
a
you?
stop.
Okay.
Yes, that'll be a
Okay.
stop. Okay. So so let's get let's get back on track
Elaine,
there.
you started this.
I know, right? She did. She did. So we have some comments right here. Let's go ahead and dig into them right here. Chocolate Twisto Yoga says, "I got you, Kevin Cox." Then Kevin says, "Yoga. That's yoga for everyone. Everyone likes ice cream." At Elaine Dempsey. Um, y'all are right about the ice cream. Focus point, computer, net, and becoming more conscious of posture at the computer.
Mm,
Okay. I got you. She said not. She meant to say neck, not nets. Okay, I got you. Silver Lining says, "Oh, salt and straw, the olive oil." Okay. And then Kevin says, "I have a bad lower back with a bulging disc, but I'm really good with anything and need to do better with the stretching and flexibility because it will help alleviate some of the issues I have."
got it.
And then Kevin joins in. He's like, "Look, there's a salt and straw in downtown Disney." uh,
That's worth trying out, Mr. Cox. I'm telling you.
he said he has one in the Bay Area, it's about 10 minutes away. And then Kevin says that milkshake that I had looked good because I did post it on social media. Silver Lining says the pear and blue cheese is to die for.
Really? I've not tried that. Is that at Salt and Straw?
It has to be
Okay.
pear and blue cheese ice cream. Okay,
I
okay,
have to try that. I've not seen that at Salt and Straw.
okay. See,
Okay, okay.
I'm gonna have to make a trip to Salt and Straw just to try some of these flavors.
They
Okay,
have some wild combination. Okay, okay,
got you,
okay.
got. We went down the rabbit hole talking about ice cream and yoga. Who go figure, right? Okay, so one of my questions that I wanted to ask you about is oh, okay. See, we can't get off the sweet treats. Kevin says they did a berry cobbler one last summer. He said it was amazing. Okay, look, no more ice cream comments, you guys. Y'all gonna get me distracted, man. Salt and straw in the place. Okay. Anyway, so I know that she's more than just a yogi because, and I think you sent me the picture, right, Kali? Let me see.
Yes,
Yes. Okay, you did. Wait, that's
I
okay.
sent you a
Okay.
few.
Okay, you did send me a few. Okay. I'm just now looking at them. Okay. So before we leave, I'm gonna show you. I ran into Kali. So let me tell you how I
Literally.
yeah, literally. So I know she's more than just a yogi. Kali and I we met being in a Facebook group called Let's Get Live on Facebook. It's a Facebook group for live streamers, right? So we've kind of connected, and just happened to figure out that she's here in Los Angeles, and so we really haven't seen each other, even though we frequent the same spots, right? She'll be running early in the morning. I'm like, okay, that's the Ladera Ralph's over there. I know where that is, right? And then she'll comment, oh, Mr. Riley, where's that sweet tea from? Is it from Chick-fil-A in Ladera, right? La Tijera? And I'm like, yeah. So we kind of, we right in the same area, right? So going back to my point, I know she does more than, I know she does a couple of things. She does yoga, right? I know she runs. And let me tell you why she runs, how I know she runs, besides her posting them on Facebook, her runs on Facebook. I happen to see, so let me, backstory. I used to take my children to their bus stop in the morning, right? So I would get up and take them. They had to be at their bus stop like 6:30. So I would go, get up, take them, come back. And then as I'm coming back, I'll see these ladies kind of walking and running down the street, right? So I'm just like, one day I was just like, I'm wondering, is this going to be Kali? Because I know she runs early in the morning. So it just so happens I'm coming back, about to pull into my driveway, and I see these ladies running, and they have these like little glow thingies on, like little reindeer or something. And so some of them it's like 5 or 6 of them. Some of them are walking, some of them running. And I was just like, you know what? Let me just sit here a little bit. So I sat. I was like, that looks like Kali. So I didn't say anything the first time I saw her. I was like, that's Kali, right? So I think 2 days later, because she runs on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Do you still run on Tuesdays and Thursdays?
Yes, yes.
See? So I was like, let me see.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. She probably runs, because I didn't see her on Monday, Wednesday, or Fridays when I would take my kids. So I was like, okay, Tuesday, maybe I'll see her on Thursday. So sure enough, I'm pulling back, backing in to my driveway, and I see her. I'm like, and so she's running by, and I hop out the car, and I was like, hey, Kali. She's like, oh, Mr. Riley. So she comes over, she's all sweaty. And I was like, hey, what up? She's like, hey, it's sweaty, because she had, done a gazillion miles. And then she proceeds to take out her camera and snaps a picture, right? So she's looking, runny, and I'm looking bummy because I just roll out of bed and just take my kids, right? Ain't nobody got time to get dressed, and then, no, just like, okay, we take you to the bus stop, come back. Then I'll get dressed and go to work. So I have that picture of me seeing her in the hood running by my house, looking like a reindeer, like 10 of them, running down the street. Am I lying? Kali, am I lying?
I think it's funny that you call us reindeers. That's what's cracking me up. But you're right. I do have a vest. It's a lit vest. It's it's a safety vest.
I knew you would know the name of it. It's a lit vest.
Yes.
I'm gonna Google this thing. A lit vest. Do y'all get lit?
Yes.
So
we be getting lit in Ladera.
Lit in Ladera in the lit vest. So basically, it's just a vest that illuminates, because they run early in the morning. So just to kind of warn the folks that, okay, a treasure trove of reindeer about to run down the street or walk down the street. So of course, I'm just clowning. But it's probably at least 5 or 6 of you guys, right? On Tuesdays and Thursdays?
Let me tell you, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, because we have a lot of us, because we have a fast runners, we have the slower runners, we have the intervallers, we have the walkers. So there's at least 4 groups of us. So when you see like me with the group, there's like 3 or 4 other groups still coming. I
know.
So we got sometimes we get like the 20 women out there. Like,
wow.
We do the thing,
Right. So it goes back to, so I just kind of dropped that anecdote because I know that she's a yogi, she's a runner. She already said she cycles, she's a rower. What else do you do?
Let's see.
I'm
not really a swimmer, but I do hike.
Okay.
I think that's about it. I row, I cycle.
You do some things.
I run. I do some things. I keep look, I'm over the age of 50. And so if I don't keep this going, if I don't stay moving. And then plus I had my children in what they would call later in life.
Okay.
And so I'm like, I'm trying to stay healthy for them, you know?
Absolutely.
And so it's just like I can't take my foot off the pedal.
Sure.
That's kind of where I'm at with it right now.
Sure. Sure. Um,
Did you show the picture?
no, not yet.
Okay.
Wait, I'm pulling it up. Let me go ahead. You know what? Let me pull it up right now. Let's see if I can walk and chew gum. Let me pull it up right now. And we're gonna set up. Let me see. Let me see. That's
And see why
David.
he's doing this, I'm just gonna share this.
Yeah, you go ahead. I'm gonna give you the
The
full
way now
screen
keep this
too.
in mind. I know Mr. Riley only by way of the internets, right? Before this moment, I never saw him in person. And so as I'm running, now mind you, we run at 5:30 in the morning. And so when you are running and someone calls your name and they're not in your group, it's a bit like, whoa, who knows me over here? Who recognized me? And then I was like, who that? And he was like, this James Riley. I was like, Mr. Riley. So I ran over there. I snapped the picture and I was like, it warmed my heart because you feel like, oh my God, I really have like a physical person to put with the face that I see, the man of the Riley clan. So it was really cool to be able to connect. I literally ran into Mr. Riley on his street. It was a trip. So we're really neighbors. And to say like, oh yeah, we're all in LA, that's one thing. But to know that you're actually neighbors with someone, that just blew my wig back.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so let me go back to. Let me make sure. You're gonna hear me hit publish. Okay, so I'm gonna show this picture. I have permission from Kali to show this picture. Let me go
Yes,
back to double.
yes.
Let me go back to double. I have, because when I just looked at it, I was like, oh my
Oh,
goodness. I was like, oh yeah, but, yeah. I mean, Kali, you're good. You got your lit vest on, but no, I'm looking kind of busted. So we got 2 seconds. Let me go back to. I think I'm in back to live mode. Okay. So, all right, here we go.
a treasure trove of reindeers. Okay, Aki art.
Okay. So here we go. So I'm gonna show this picture for like 3 seconds, right? And this is me and Kali just hanging out in these Ladera streets. Okay. So here we go.
Ladera streets.
Yeah. I don't even know if there's any audio, but here it is. I'm gonna count to three too. Okay. Here we go. All right. So we got one. You got two. You got three. That's what we looking like right there, right? Look at me. I'm wearing my ECAM
Yes.
shirt though. I'm in my ECAM
Ah,
shirt.
that's right. That was a trip. He had the ECAM shirt on too.
I
He
did.
was all ECAM'd up. I was like, oh, look at this. I got I just got my headlight on. You can't really see my vest because
Yeah.
the sun started to come out. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was doing it. I
Yeah.
was doing it.
Kevin says just proves how crazy the small or how small this world is, right?
Yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. It was a blast to kind of run into her and see her. So I'm actually looking over here on Facebook, and I see Donald Bishop was watching a little bit earlier. He says East Side, and I still, man, someone's gonna have to teach me, help teach me to get these Facebook comments over here in Restream. But we'll talk about that later. But so yeah, so we know that you're active, and you have to kind of stay active, and that's one reason why I got the Peloton, right? Because I
Yes.
wanted to. Donald Bishop says he screenshotted the evidence.
Oh, I'm gonna get you, Bishop.
So one of the reasons why I got the Pelly is because I wanted to make sure I stay in shape, and so I'm over 52.
Yeah.
I'm 50. How old am I? I'm 53, and so I want to make sure I stay around, right? So I
Yeah.
got the Pelly because during COVID, the belly was getting big,
Ooh,
right? And
yeah.
so I'm using the Pelly to help the belly decrease, right?
Yeah.
And so we got to stay active. Because if we don't stay active, then things start to kind of grow and expand, and you can't. It's not healthy. It's not healthy.
You
And from
absolutely have to
and then
stay active.
yeah, and then from your perspective, you being a yoga instructor, a yogi, you kind of have to stay active because that's what you do. You know, you can't promote health when you're not healthy, right?
Yeah,
You,
yeah.
that's kind of kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's it's interesting because yoga, as I mentioned before, it could be certainly like your exercise regimen, part of your exercise regimen, but you really don't have to be quote unquote fit in a traditional way to practice yoga. In fact, we have many great yoga teachers who don't fit the image of what you think a fit person looks like, and they are fabulous teachers.
Absolutely.
Um, for for me, because I do yoga in the way that I do and do the other things too, I think that, I might align with a certain image of what people think about when you do yoga. But I have to say that the yoga helps me with that. But honestly, if I'm not out there running twice a week, 10 miles or, doing the 20 miles on the bike, I would it would be a different type of situation. My fitness level would certainly be different. That's what I think. Um, so yeah, I think you make a really good point because yoga can definitely be an absolute wonderful way to stay in shape, so to speak.
Absolutely. And I wasn't, trying to body shame anyone,
Oh, I
but I
didn't take it
just
that way.
oh,
Okay.
oh no, I know you didn't. I just, just in case someone was thinking, "Oh, Mr. Riley." No, I'm just saying, I mean, because, you're very active. You know, you're rowing, you're running, you're walking, and then someone Aki already even said, what about jump rope, right?
Oh, I
And
do jump rope.
yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, and there's a group, and we kind of talked about that before we went live. There's a group that my wife is affiliated with every Saturday morning. They're out there double dutching, right? And so,
Yes.
we have, if you're not doing yoga, then jump rope. If you're not jump roping, then go cycle. If you're not cycling, go hiking. If you got to find something to do instead of just sitting there binge watching on YouTube or Hulu or whatever. Get up and be active.
Or and you can binge watch and work out.
Ah,
So, right?
you killing
So one of the things,
you killing two
come
birds with
on,
one stone.
killing two birds, freeing two birds with one song.
Okay, okay, free and two. Okay, I
So,
like I like
so
that.
one of the things that I want to offer is that, um, yeah, I do a lot of different things. One of the things that, and that this is something that I impress upon like my children now because they're young and they have youth on their sides, and they got like metabolism burning like crazy. But I tell each of them, like, right now, figure out a 10 to 15-minute workout routine that you can do anywhere you are that doesn't require you to have any type of equipment or very minimal equipment or something that you can just pick up around the house. So if you could just find that. So one of the things that I do is that I do 250 jumping jacks. I do that, right? And then I
Every
do a
day.
few little no, I do my 250 jumping jacks twice a week.
Got you.
So like I want to always make sure that I'm doing something that's sustainable because I can do jumping jacks anywhere. And if you're thinking, oh, well, I can't do jumping jacks because of my knees, then you can put together yourself a core workout routine. Or
Sure.
you could put together jumping jacks where you just step out, step out, step out, right? Or walk in place for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But if you just take just basic movements. They don't have to be extravagant. They don't have to be elaborate, but just say, okay, I can do this 15 minutes every day. Or if ever I'm not next to my Peloton or with my rower or
Sure.
I don't have my bike or whatever it is, that is a way that you build a sustainable fitness practice. And then one of the things that I also do is make sure that I always eat something that's like super healthy at least once a day. And one of the things that's the biggest thing for me is that I eat beets almost every day of the week.
Okay.
I go to our Ralph's and they have organic beets and I honey roast the organic beets with in fact your wife commented on it with carrots and yams. Put whatever herbs that I have, which is probably rosemary, thyme, oregano. I chop them up and I roast them, and then that pan saves, that will serve us for about 3 days, and then I roast them again. So I
Okay.
always do that, and if I don't do that, then I'm eating dandelion greens. So I'm always have so I try to make things as practical as possible. I can eat just one thing that's super healthy every day, and I can still have my ice cream. I can also do 250 jumping jacks. I can do a little walking routine or whatever. So if I do those two things every day, that takes me zero time at all. But the dividends on that continue to pay off in the future. So
Absolutely.
that's what I encourage people to do.
Absolutely. Hey, man, this is some good content. Yeah. So you said freeing, not killing two birds, but freeing two birds with one song. Is that what you said?
That's right. Free two birds with one song.
Okay. I like that. I like that. So,
My yoga teacher taught me that.
okay.
He's the one that told me that. Yeah.
Okay. And so, one of my questions I was going to ask you, your inspiration. So the gentleman that you talked about who moved away, I think you said
Yeah.
to India, did he serve as like your mentor or your
Yeah.
inspiration for becoming a yogi?
Thank you for asking me that question because that is an essential question that we pay tribute to our teachers. Yes, his name is Purusha Hickson.
Okay.
Purusha Hickson, he moved to India. He's since been back, and I've studied with him again. And his teacher, and this is a legacy that I come from, his teacher is Swamini Turiya Sangeetananda, who we know in the music world as Alice Coltrane. So she is our master teacher, and people, if they don't know Alice Coltrane, they probably have heard of her husband, John Coltrane. And so I'm from the Alice and John Coltrane lineage, which I am super proud of because these are people who look like me.
Sure.
And there's something that is so grounding, so soul fulfilling to know that I come from this legacy. And the other one of my great teachers, and we lost her during COVID, is John V. Kaysen. And so these are my mentors and my teachers and who I look upon as like people who have like really inspired me. And then another teacher, and he's also in LA, is Pagan George, is another one of my teachers as well.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. Man. So we got a couple of questions right here, a couple of comments. Let me pull up this one. Aki Art says, "What's your opinion of hot yoga?"
Oh, that's the cool thing about yoga is that there's a yoga for everybody. What I like about hot yoga is that uh, I like the intensity. I like that you can probably stretch a little bit deeper because the heat is going to give you a little bit more, a greater range of motion. So I
Hmm.
like hot yoga. I don't do it. I haven't done it in a while. Honestly, I haven't done it since COVID because the hot yoga studios was already kind of funky.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now, but I really enjoy hot yoga, and I think it's a great practice. And you can actually, you get a space heater and do it in a small room and do it on your own. That's how I would do it. But yes, I love hot yoga.
Got you. Got you. All right. So hopefully, Aki Art, hopefully that kind of answers your question. Elaine, I'm sure this is going back to the jumping jack. She says 250 divided by what?
Well, okay. So I worked up to 250 jumping jacks and I worked up to 250 during COVID because at first I was just like doing 25. And then I was like, okay, let me just push myself to see if I can do 40. Let me see if I
Hmm.
can do 40. And then once I got to like that range that I was like, I'm pushing myself, but I'm not killing myself, then I stick with that, right? So I
Right.
just kept doing 40, kept doing 40, kept doing 40, did 40 for about 2, 3 weeks. And I said, I'm gonna see if I can do 50. And then I would just do that and then just gradually add on more and more and more. And here's something else. And I'm gonna keep this as clean as possible. It's really good for your digestive system and getting things moving. So jumping jacks are good for you in many ways.
Got you. Got you. Now, is it 250 at one time, or is it
Yes, it's
is
250. I do 250 at one time now.
so
Now,
okay? So straight. You're like pow 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 pow. You like 250, just knocking them out.
I just knock them out. I
Got you.
just knock them out.
Okay. Oh,
Now, again, I didn't start that way, but now I
sure.
just do 250 straight.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Kevin says, find what movement works for you that you enjoy. I tried boxing 4 years ago because the gym we were going to offered it, and he said he actually enjoyed it. So yeah, I think that's what. Rowing and hiking, some of the outside activities, and then for us, who are, I like cycling, I like road cycling,
Yes.
and so and yeah, I like my pelly, right? So I have an
Yeah.
option. I can hop on and do a 30-minute, real intensive ride, with some of my favorite cyclists, And
Yeah.
then there's other things on there that I haven't really explored yet, like yoga. You know,
Like
there's some
yoga.
yoga things there,
Hmm.
some high intensity training, and just a whole bunch of other things that I haven't. I've just kind of really started with the cycling because that's what I like to do. But yeah, there's tons of stuff on there, especially with the app. There's tons of stuff on there for folks to do. And then I'm still digging into the comments. Kevin says, Eddie Lane, start small and add 5 per week. You will get there. Um, Elaine
100%.
says, will do, Kevin. Um, and then she says, that works. There is yoga for everybody. She's quoting you. And then regarding boxing, um, she says she has to stay out of the gyms because of her last name. People might have high expectations. So there's a famous boxer. I think his name was Jack Dempsey. I
Jack
think.
Dempsey.
Yeah, so we get it. And see, Elaine, I was wondering if you were from the Jack Dempsey tree, just like Kylie's from the Armstrong tree. So that's good. That's good to know. I don't think you are. You're just saying that to be funny. And then Aki Art is saying, how important is breathing when you're doing yoga? You know what, Aki
Ooh.
Art, are you man? You asking some good questions here. Now, let me, Kylie, do you know Aki Art?
What makes you say that?
Did you feed her some? Hey, hey, ask. Now these are good questions. Good
I swear I
questions.
did not feed anyone any
Okay,
questions.
I
I
know you
did
did.
not feed anyone any
I
questions.
know you did. I know you did. So let's flash the question again. How
Okay.
important is breathing when doing yoga?
Breathing is fundamental. Breathing is fundamental. Breathing can make everything right in the world. And especially during Mental Health Awareness Month, the month of May, I think it's a really great time to drop into your breath, let your breath drop into your body. And that's what I tell people in the yoga class. When you can move in alignment with your breath, you make yoga a moving meditation. So, like each breath, each portion of a breath has a particular physical expression. So, inhale, you may lift your arms. Exhale, you may lower them down. Inhale, lifting your arms. Exhale, lowering them down. So, doing those type of things. And then inhale, you open your arms. Exhale, you bring them back. Inhale, you open. Exhale, you draw them together. So all of that starts to create like a think of like a musician might use a metronome, right? How that helps to keep pace, rhythm, frequency. All of those things start to add to a mindfulness practice, which reminds me, if I may share,
Absolutely, because I'm ready for you. I got it right here.
wonderful. Starting on May 16th for 21 days for Mental Health Awareness Month, I'm doing a 21-day Breathe It Out challenge. So every day at 10 a.m. Pacific, starting May 21st and going on through, I believe it's June 5th for 21 days. We're going to do a Breathe It Out challenge where it's a seated practice where we do like a few gentle movements. So, what is gentle movement? I'm talking about maybe some wrist releases, maybe some head rolls, some shoulder rolls, and then just I'll guide you through a breathing meditation type practice. Each day will have a particular theme. I think the first day is called pause, and then another day is called uh, uh, discernment, calm, all these different type of things, legacy, all these different types of themes. I invite you to join me because it is going to be awesome. And the reason why it's 21 days because it's like 21 days is the number that they have found that allows you to make something a habit. 90 days makes it part of your lifestyle. So
Mm,
you can go ahead and do this several times over because certainly there's going to be replays. You can certainly join me live. But I encourage you to come on over. And if you go to my website or if you go to my YouTube channel, rather Chocolate Twist Yoga on YouTube, if you subscribe and hit the notification bell for all notifications, you'll obviously be notified when I go live. And I'm going to be leaving more posts up about the challenge taking place starting Monday. Would love to have you. Breathing is important. Why? Let me tell you more specifically why. It helps to reduce anxiety. It promotes clarity of thought. It helps to eliminate brain fog. So if you think about like mental disorganization, confusion, mindful breathing helps to eliminate those things. It helps to decrease stress. It helps to minimize depression. It doesn't take place of medication or anything that your doctor may prescribe, but it definitely can be a wonderful adjunct to whatever you are doing. And the yoga practice, again, is essential. It's said that the breath is the divine thread that connects body and mind. So you get those things in alignment, body and mind in alignment. You're able to order your footsteps with a little bit more strategy. You're able to move through your world with a little bit more ease. So I invite you to come to join this, to tell a friend, because you don't have to have any experience level. You don't have to have any particular fitness level. There is no requirement for you other than showing up. So it starts May 16th, 10 a.m. Pacific. Pull up.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. That's some good stuff right there, Kali.
Thank you. Thank you.
Man,
Thank you
I'm
so
just
much.
man. We're I think we're an hour and 17 minutes into this thing. This is kind of
I
cool.
talk so doggone much. Excuse me. Om Shanti. Peace, brother.
So hold on. Let me. We have a celebrity in the house.
Oh, who there? Who that? Who that?
Dr. Elo is in the house,
Dr.
and so he's
Elo.
just saying hello to you, myself, and then Kevin as well. So good to see you on here, Dr. Elo. Appreciate you. And then Elaine says, "This is awesome, Kali. We'll try to be there either live or the replay."
Wonderful.
And then Kevin also says, um, "This sounds amazing." So
Thank you.
it does sound amazing. I mean, because like you said, May is mental health awareness, right? And
That's
so
right.
and even if you don't tune in to Kali's YouTube um, uh, YouTube channel, but we do want you to subscribe. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you have not subscribed already. If you're into yoga, you want to be introduced. I'm sure she has a ton of videos over there on her channel that will
Indeed.
introduce you, get you immersed in yoga, and so check them out. And just a couple more questions before we close up. Now we've been talking about yoga, hot yoga, ice cream yoga, all kind of stuff. You know, actually, so here we need to come up with a West Side yoga pose. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, we got to figure out something we could throw the dubs up.
Yeah.
Okay. I will come up with
listen,
something.
listen. I can't even twist my hands yet. That's why you have it. So listen. I can twist them, but I gotta, I got West Side. I, wait, you see me down? You see me
You
down
got me
here?
down here doing this. You just can't flip them. Wait. I think this hand got arthritis. I told you I was over 50.
So yeah, I mean, you got a ton of comments as it relates to developing poses that people are interested in the comments, and so that'll be there for you to go back and refer to
I got
Kali.
y'all. 5
But
classes are coming for Mr. Riley World Community.
absolutely. But so just a few more questions
Sure.
because we've been talking about different kind of yoga and clearing your head, breathing, things of that nature. Let me just ask you this question: what is your favorite yoga pose?
Mm. I've been really into my meditation practice recently.
Okay.
So those type of seated postures are really great. One of the postures that I really love, and if you all are interested, I have on my channel right now, there's a yoga pose a day challenge that I just completed for SETA for the month of April. Every day, a brand new yoga pose for the month of April. And one of my favorite poses lately has been legs up the wall, where you literally lie down on your back, and you can do it with your headboard in your bed, and you lie down and put your legs up the wall. It's on day 30 of my yoga pose a day challenge. If you're on my YouTube channel, the home page has it's the featured, the top playlist is that challenge, and the very last class of that challenge is the yoga pose a day. The reason why I like that pose is because it's very tranquilizing for the mind. It helps to regulate blood pressure. It helps to ease low back tension. It's great for resetting the circadian clock. So if you're traveling across time zones and you have jet lag, legs up the wall will help you get back in sync. So when I do my yoga retreats, I do retreats to Bali, and this is like a 20-hour time difference. So you kind of feel like you're in a different world, both mentally and literally. And one of the poses that I do is legs up the wall. I have everybody do that because it helps to get get you back in alignment. And so yeah, so I would say that that was probably one of my favorite poses these days.
Yeah, Kevin says he loves that pose, and he didn't realize that was a yoga pose or yoga movement. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to choose that. And because of this conversation, I might have to go ahead and give some of the yoga, exercises on the Peli. I'm gonna have to give that.
Yes, yes.
I'm gonna
Well,
have to
well,
give it a
well.
try.
See, you could just go over to Chocolate Twist Yoga and do the yoga classes, but I ain't there.
And actually, you know what? Let's talk about that. Let's finish up. I'm about to. Hey, how about I can do both? I can walk and chew gum. How about that?
Oh, whoa, what?
There
You
you
talented
go.
like that?
There we
Whoa.
go. Yeah, how about that? How about I take your yoga class and then I go over to the Peli and do that yoga class. How about that?
Ooh, okay then. Okay. You got
Wait, let me get it. Let me turn off. I know I'm a hair late. Let me go ahead and turn up the sound, and let me just go ahead and give you that. See, yeah, I'm gonna do both. Yeah. Okay. So
I ain't mad at it.
I know, right? So we talked about you just mentioned your studio. So do you actually have an in-person studio where you teach classes on a daily or often throughout the week?
I no longer teach classes in person.
Okay.
I only teach classes uh, live stream, pre-recorded, and I also will be doing my 2023 Bali retreat. So for those type of things, then I teach in person. But otherwise, it's all digital,
Got you. And so I'm sure
at least
with
for now.
yeah, so with the pandemic, I'm sure you had to kind of pivot from doing the in person to because you got to support yourself, right? And so
Hmm.
converting how was that pivot? Was it an easy pivot for you? Were you natural at live streaming? Were you in front of a camera besides taking the selfies on your social media?
Yeah.
Kind of just kind of talk about that transition from going to an in person kind of situation to now doing live streaming and recorded video on YouTube.
Yeah, it's interesting because before everything hit with the pandemic, I purchased a the camera that I'm using right now, this Sony 6400, and I started purchasing all these different things to start doing some live streaming. Now, the reason why I did that was because for prior to the pandemic, I was managing a live streaming fitness studio that offered yoga classes, fitness classes, Pilates, a host of different formats. I was also teaching on that platform. So I was already teaching live stream, like a one take, hit it and quit it type of thing. I was already doing that. And I was, you know what? I always kind of wanted to do this on my own. So I started gathering the things so that I could do it on my own. And then when the pandemic hit, it was like, whoa, now I'm forced to do this on my own. And fortunately, I have, these few years of experience so that it could be an easier transition. I'm not going to say it was easy, but an easier transition. At least the part that I did not have to overcome was just being comfortable going live and teaching live. So that was cool.
Wow. Yeah. Um, yeah, I think the pandemic kind of allowed everybody to kind of step back and
Right.
reevaluate. Like many corporations, companies, businesses, schools. They
Yeah.
converted to the online model, and so now we're kind of trying to make our way out of it. And folks are still doing kind of hybrid situations, worship service, or some of those are kind of
Yeah.
hybrid. And so now because of the safety of it all, I'm sure you feel much more comfortable with producing a live stream than having people come in. And
Yeah.
I mean it's for me. I have to I have my mom living with us, and so I have to be careful of still just making sure I'm masked up, because I don't want to get anyone sick. I have not. My wife and I did not have the COVID, and but our children were kind of exposed a little bit to it. We had to quarantine them in different parts of the house, and so
Mm,
we're still cognizant of that, of the
yeah.
virus still being around. And so I'm sure for you pivoting from in person to the live streaming online model is it kind of pushed you a learning curve. You had to learn
Man, there
some
was a learning
things.
curve.
Yeah,
I had to learn some things,
and
you
you're
know,
still learning.
and I'm
We're
still
we're
learning. There's
both
still
of
so
us are
much to
still learning.
learn.
Yeah.
There's so much, and like because within my bubble are my children, my family,
Sure. Sure.
including my parents. It's a multi-generational bubble that we're in. And so my both of my parents are cancer survivors, so they're considered to be immunocompromised. So teaching in studio, when I made the pivot to not only teach online, but just to pivot in my personal life in terms of like pouring into my family, I was like, okay, the health and well-being of my family is a priority. And I get offers all the time to come teach in studio, but I'm like, no, I have to make sure that I'm creating a safe space for my parents, my children, and all of that. So that's why I say like going back in studio is really not an option for me right now. Things are gonna have to change a whole lot, for me to do that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
even when
No.
I go on my do my retreats, I'm going to come back in quarantine, even if I am COVID free, just
Absolutely.
so I can make sure that they're safe.
Absolutely. No, that I think is very, very important. I mean, there's facets of America who are where, it's cool to be out and open, and I'm not, trying to, sway anybody's personal thinking one way or the other, mask or no mask. But
Yeah.
for me it's about being safe. And so sometimes I still have to kind of catch myself when I'm going out and about, because I have to think about others in my family and myself, right?
Yeah.
I don't. It's important for me to be there for my students, but it's more important for me to be safe for my family, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
I know we're coming out of this thing, and so I love the way that you've pivoted, and because we're in the same Facebook group, we kind of see the growth. You kind of put yourself out there, right, in some of your live streams with Doc, and just wanting to know how to create some of the different scenes that we're using with our live streaming software. And so hats off to you for making that pivot, and continuing
Likewise.
continuing to be an example in the community, trying to promote health and wellness, healthy living, staying active. I mean, all of those things are what you're all about. And I just love the way that you promote everything that you do, because it's very, very important for folks to not just be comfortable with where they are, but like you said, we can free two birds with one song. So we can sit
Yes.
and watch a show, but also practice some kind of breathing, or some kind of
Hmm.
some kind of some moves, right? Or if you got a rower, hey, you can sit there and row. you might
Yep.
you might be exhausted by the end of that show, but you would have gotten, or to your point,
We've gotten it in.
you get it. Go ahead and get your 200 uh, jumping jacks in, or 50 jumping jacks, whatever. Elaine, go
Yes.
ahead. Matter of fact, Elaine, go ahead and give me 10 jumping jacks right now.
Right. And like Kevin Cox said, just add five at a time. Five
Add
at a
five.
time.
Add five at a time, man.
Once you get to that 50, then it's going to be easy to get more. Once you get to 50, then it's easy to add more. I'm telling you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Kevin just, he's just saying it's absolutely still around, even as much as people are saying that we are post COVID. Yeah, it's still around.
Oh, yeah, it's still
So we
around.
have to be. It's not as it was several years ago, but it's still around, and so we just still
It's still
have to be.
around.
We still have to be careful, man.
And shout out to the ECAM family, and the LGL family, because that's how we got connected. And it's because of the ECAM software that we're able to deliver this level of production that Mr. Riley is sharing with you all right now.
Yeah,
Because I was looking for a solution. I knew I had a camera, I knew I had a computer, but how do I get this thing to do what I want it to do? And once I got connected with the folks in the ECAM community, Doc, helping to get all of this thing going, Diana as well. getting all this. And I was like, boom, things started to fall into place. And again, as James said, like, there's still a learning curve, but like, it's really been just wonderful to have the support. The supportive community is priceless.
Absolutely. And when folks, stay on an hour and a half on a live stream, and we've been holding right around 10 people, honestly, I'm a beginning live streamer, and so I'm beginning to kind of understand the facets of promoting and production, pre and post, and everything else. And so, I'm surprised, and I thank those of you who are watching right now. I know there's at least 10 people watching right now on YouTube and Facebook. So I appreciate you guys. And if you happen to make it through the whole thing, if you're watching replay, go ahead and throw comments. Replay Squad, I made it through it. We made it through goat yoga, hot yoga, ice cream yoga. I think we went through many of the new yoga disciplines that will be coming to a yoga studio near you, right? Chocolate
That's
Twist
right.
Yoga.
That's right. That's right.
Silver Lining Homes Home Place says, "You're doing it, Mr. Riley's World." Well, thank you very, very much, and I really appreciate you
Sure
watching and
is.
staying and hanging out with us. Kali, I got one more thing that I want to show. Got one more
Okay.
thing, and let me see if I hit. Let me see. I think I need to hit publish, or maybe I don't. But it is us hanging out. Now, we did have a chance to meet up in San Diego a couple of man, about a month and a half ago.
I think so. Was that in March? I think it was in March.
Yeah. So I didn't put
Yeah.
I didn't put our camera overlays on it, but I do have us. So there we are. Kind of. Well, you probably can't see it. Can you see it?
I cannot see it.
Got you. Okay. So
Oh, there it is.
okay, now you see it. Okay. So there we are,
Yay!
Kali and I, and hanging out with Doc, and there's Val. Ecam meetup in San Diego a couple of weeks ago, and so it was amazing. For those of you who don't know what Ecamm is, Ecamm Live is just the streaming software that we're using. I use it for my production. I'm sure Kevin Cox uses it for his production. Elaine,
Mm-hmm.
she uses it for hers. Dr. Elo, and so basically it's a streaming software that we all use, and so we're all a part of a Facebook group called Let's Get Live, and so they had a meetup. I said all that to say that's why you see Doc wearing the Ecamm hat, because it was the Ecamm fam meetup in San Diego. I forgot the name of the conference. And so
Yeah, I don't forgot it too.
I just drove down for the meetup, and I think you did too, right, Callie? You
I
drove
just
down?
came for the meetup, and you were the first person that I saw. How
Yeah,
about that?
absolutely, absolutely. We were walking in together, and so yeah, so it was just a pleasure to meet you there. It was a pleasure to have you on tonight. I mean, we talked about a whole bunch of good stuff. Kevin Cox says this has been an amazing conversation. Let me get to it. There he is.
Ah,
He
thanks.
says, "Thank you both." Thank you, Kevin. We really appreciate it. Like I said, we're trying to build our skills so that we can make an impact in our spaces. And I'm gonna have to wait. Hold on. I realized something. Okay, I'm subscribed. I was like, wait a minute, why is that red button? I was
All
like,
my
oh.
life, you ain't been subscribed.
Hey, now, so here's the thing. Now that I'm subscribed, I have to watch, right? So
You have to watch. Start with the yoga pose a day challenge, or start on May 16th with the breathe it out challenge. Like, there
absolutely,
is a place for everybody. And here's the thing, you guys, if you go to my channel and be like, dang, she said there's a place for everybody, I don't see anything that fits what I need, leave that comment, because I literally live to create yoga classes for the community. So let me know. It's not a place to be like, dang it, this is only this type of yoga. Trust and believe that I can create something that's going to suit your needs.
absolutely. Silver Lining Home Space said it was social media marketing world, and you're correct. That's what it was.
That's right.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Elaine says, James, you're a great interviewer. Thank you, thank you, thank you, man. I'm still trying to build my skills, and just trying to have some fun with this thing. Man, this has been kind of cool. I don't even want to say peace out, man. I'm trying to think. Well, did I cover all my points? Yeah. Okay. Now we kind of talked. My last question was technology, and you kind of talked about you're using a Sony A6400. Of course, you're
Yes.
using Mac, and I'm sure you have some lights as well in your studio. So it's
Yeah,
all
the
good.
lights have been a game changer. I'm using some Godox lights, and I have what I call a huge lantern light. I call it the blimp. It's just a big old lantern light. There's some video out there that Doc has of me actually setting it up. It's so big. It was like it's when I took it out the box, it was about as tall as I am. So it was
Hmm.
about 5 feet.
Which light are you using?
It is the Godox UL60,
Okay.
and it's a nan light lantern that I have on top of the UL60. And I really like the Godox UL60 because it's a fanless light. So when I'm teaching, you don't hear that little humming buzz, that kind of white noise. So I love these lights, and I have one, two, three of them.
Okay.
Um, yeah, three of them here.
Yeah, I think we have the same one. I have the Godox UL60,
Yes,
and I
yeah,
have
it's a sweet light, isn't it?
it. Man, it's so quiet. It's so buttery smooth. And then I
Yes,
think the dome that I have for it is the dome I have for it is real big. It's excessive.
yes.
I think if I get another Godox, I'm gonna get smaller a smaller light dome.
Yeah, and I'm using the Rodecaster Pro. Are you using that as
You
well?
know what? I do not have a Rodecaster Pro just yet. I do not.
Yeah, I got that, and I know it's a bit of an overkill for what my needs are.
Yeah,
The reason why I decided to go ahead and get it is because eventually I will be doing podcasting.
sure.
But I got it because the people who were mentoring me were using it. And I wanted to be able to speak in the language that they spoke. I didn't want to have to run everything through a filter and end up banging my head against the wall
Sure.
using something else. So I'm using the the Rodecaster Pro. But one of the things that I want to say, and I think this might be useful, especially if there's other people in fitness or yoga who happen to come across this video at some later time, is that I'm using this Countryman. I don't know if that's
That's clear.
uh,
It's nice and clear.
clear. Okay. It's the Countryman. I think it's the H6 model. And what I love about the Countryman is that it actually is skin tone. So it's low profile, pardon the Velcro noise. So it's chocolate brown, right?
Of course.
And of course. So when I wear it, it's you can barely see it, but it picks up really well into my Rode Wireless Go, right? And so then
Okay.
I just kind of just drop this so it keeps everything out of view so you can stay focused on what matters most in your yoga practice is getting clear instructions so you can feel better in your body.
Yeah,
So, but I
absolutely.
just wanted to point this out because a lot of people end up asking me like, well, what kind of microphone are you using to film your classes because you sound so clear? And this Countryman with the Rode Wireless Go makes a huge difference in that. So if if you are a yoga teacher out there and you come across Mr. Riley's World and you're watching this video, I highly recommend the Countryman. It is an investment. However, it is an investment that is well worth it. If this is something you plan on doing long term, go ahead and get the right gear at the start because otherwise you just
Absolutely.
be throwing money into the fire pit.
Absolutely. Well, real quick, as we're closing up, we have some more celebrities in the house, and so let me go
Who
ahead
that?
and man, we got Miss Kimbucha. She's in here.
What?
I know, right?
Kombucha, mommy to be.
I ain't seen Kimbucha since Skippy was a pup. I mean, my goodness. What up, Kimbucha? And
Kombucha
then
got married and just fell off the planet. Then she
man,
came back
she just
glowing and pregnant.
she's just like, hey, I'm just like, she's like, I'm back, kind of, sort of. Um,
Uh-huh.
and then my girl over there in Atlanta, Michelle Lawrence, what's going on? LBC
Whoa, what
branding.
it do?
Now,
LBC branding.
where we come from, where we live, LBC means something else.
No, it does.
It
So much trouble
definitely
in the
means something.
LBC.
Yeah. Lo- if yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave it at
Yeah.
that. Man, I think I got everything, Miss Chocolate Twist Yoga. I appreciate you hopping on.
Thank you so
And
much for having me.
man, this is wonderful. We have to do it again. We have to do another
Yes.
next season. Okay, we'll do a summer season, And we'll have you back in the
Joe.
summer. I'm gonna do. I think I'm probably right at 6 episodes for the spring season, and I'll probably come back in the summertime and do 8 more. I'm sorry, in the summertime, maybe in August, we'll come
I'm
back
here
and
for it.
we'll do some more episodes and have you back. You know what I mean? So
I am
now,
here for it.
and we got a couple of people saying, "Hey, Kombucha, what's going on?" LBC Brandy Michelle says, ATL in the house. Kombucha says, "Hey, Elaine and Kevin," and so yeah, just a good night for everyone. So, last thing, if folks need to find you, Chocolate Twist Yoga, where can they find you? And I'm gonna give you the full screen. Here we go.
All right. So if you are looking for me, the best place to find me is on my website, chocolatewistyoga.com. You can also find me on YouTube. That's going to be youtube.com/chocolatewistyoga. Stay tuned for the Breathe It Out challenge that's coming up starting on May 16th, going on for 21 days to build a mindfulness habit in exactly 21 days. You can catch it live 10 a.m. Pacific, or you can catch it on the replay. It will live on my YouTube channel. That is the best place to get me. I'm on the Instagrams and all that. I got those things, but I really live on YouTube. That's where I'm at. So I would love for you to connect with me there. Leave comments when you take classes. I would love to know what worked for you and what didn't work so well, because that helps me to create content that hits the spot every single time you roll out your mat.
Absolutely.
And I should tell you.
Go ahead.
I should tell you.
Tell us, please.
One more thing. Here's something else. June 5th, I believe it is.
Okay.
Starts my next 7-day yoga challenge, my next 7-day yoga journey. And it is a journey for no matter what level you are. So if you prefer to do chair yoga, beginner yoga, or intermediate yoga, you can choose your path. So it's a choose your path yoga journey. If you want to sign up for the yoga journey, all you have to do is go to 7dayyogajourney.com. You can either put the digit 7 or spell 7 out. It'll take you there, and you choose the journey that you want: chair, beginner, or intermediate. It starts June 5th. We'd love to have you. And if you're seeing this much later after June 5th, if you go there to the website at that time, it will have a new date. So there will always be a challenge for you to be able to hop into.
Absolutely.
I almost forgot about that.
Man, you can't forget about that. You got to promote yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Man, hello.
Hey, so we have one more celebrity in the house.
Who that?
Discord for creators. Keely's in the house watching.
Discord for creators. Woo woo.
I have to. I would kind of watch Keely. She's as funny and amazing and informative, and so.
All in one.
Man, I'll just I'll be doing something over here trying to create some content, and I'll have her on. I'm just like, okay, let me just listen, because she's talking about field hockey.
Yeah.
Oh, brother, over here on the west side, we don't have field hockey.
No,
we
don't have field hockey over here.
We got lacrosse, we got football, we got basketball, we got baseball, right? Man, so when she starts talking, I just, it's just like, okay, let me just stop and listen. It's like,
Same.
E.F. Hutton. It's like E.F. Hutton, really.
Same. She'll be talking about field hockey, and I just be in there like this.
Yeah.
Like, okay. And then what gets me is that I'm looking at multiple things. I'm watching how she conducts the stream as well as getting into the sport. But you go ahead, James Riley, because I just started chatting.
No. You're good. So I just wanted to say, hey, you have, well, it's not a secret admirer now, so it's out in the open. But yeah, just love your content and appreciate you just stopping through for a hot second. So yeah, we're about to close up. You guys check the replay, and I'll have to do a little bit better about promoting some of my lives next week. Speaking of lives, next week, I'm going to have someone who is connected to the 5th round draft picked in the NFL draft last week, a couple of weeks ago. One of the city football mentors. So you got to come back. He's an inspiration to a lot of the Pop Warner teams out here, Pop Warner community. He's had some sons that played Pop Warner, went on to college, and so we're going to talk about him and just his influence on football, on family, and his mentee, if you will, who was chosen last week or a couple of weeks ago by the New York Giants. So come on back next week.
Right
We'll have
on.
another interesting conversation, and I believe that should be episode 7. I need to label these episodes. I'm gonna do that tonight. Should be should be episode 7. So come back next Wednesday, and we'll have another interesting conversation. Kali, I appreciate you again. Man, good conversation. Good conversation. I learned some
Great
stuff.
conversation.
I learned
Thank you for
that
having me.
I learned what a yogi is. So yeah, so it was real enlightening. So hang tight. I'm gonna put you in the green room. You want to say any last words?
I see y'all on May 16th, 10 a.m. Pacific for Breathe It Out. Thank y'all. Thank you so much for having me, James, and I will see y'all in the whirlwind. Peace.
Absolutely. So hang tight in the green room, Kali, and let me close it out. Okay.
Right on.
Hey guys, so there we had it. We had the wonderful Kali Chocolate Twist Yoga in the house on this West Coast Wednesday. Appreciate you guys hanging out in the comments. Appreciate you guys watching and commenting. Man, just a wonderful live stream tonight. And I kind of think we went over. We're an hour and 50 minutes in, but we had some relevant content tonight. So we'll come back next week, have another wonderful live interview. But if you happen to watch the replay, go ahead and just drop hashtag replay squad, and I'd really appreciate it if you did that. Do me a favor, just go ahead and leave a thumbs up. Hit that. Where is this thing? Here it is, right here. Do me a favor. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like. Some of you have already left some comments. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell. That way you'll know anytime I'll drop a brand new video or go live. Like we are live right now on West Coast Wednesday. All right. So continue to be safe out there. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. And again, this is Mr. Riley coming to you live from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. Thanks for watching, guys. Good night.